Anytime you overcome a demonic pattern, you will feel cheated afterwards. Let me explain why. A demonic pattern is not supposed to be obvious. Because once it's obvious, it can't function as a pattern anymore. Paranormal cycles, or you can call them demonic patterns, whatever label you prefer, they are only effective, so they can only work when they are not obvious. Or better said, they need to be in the dark for them to be effective. The moment a paranormal cycle is obvious, it can't function anymore. Because the people that are trapped by the cycle realize they're stuck. And once they realize they're stuck, it doesn't work as smoothly anymore. So from that point on, either people become delivered or they'll lose it, escalate, and they devour one another. Due to the frustration keeps lingering around. So the world's leaders don't want people to be delivered. So the only option is to keep people trapped in paranormal cycles as much as possible and to shift them from cycle to cycle. That is what happens when you have controlled opposition. When you have those pagan groups exposing the system. What they're really doing is they're shifting you from one pattern to the other. But you don't realize the other pattern you are being lured into because one pattern is exposed, and because the pattern is exposed what it is, you think, I don't want to have anything to do with this, and that's good. But meanwhile, you're not delivered here. You're not renewed in your mind. So the only thing that's left for you is another pattern you're not aware of. And that's what pagan Christianity is doing. In pagan Christianity, you are shifted around. You are here in this pattern of darkness. You're removed from that pattern and placed in this pattern over here. And that's how it goes in pagan Christianity. While when you walk by faith, those silver cords are broken and you're delivered. When you overcome a paranormal cycle, you'll feel cheated. Why? Because every paranormal cycle needs human beings to act it out. Those evil spirits can't have their patterns if there are no human beings through whom those patterns will work out. The evil spirits don't have a full grip on the human species. They don't. The only way they can have a grip on the human species is when the human species is trapped in patterns and cycles. Now, people without Christ, they end up in cycles anyway, so for demons it's easy to get hold on them. But here's the thing. If demons leave worldly people alone, eventually those worldly people realize that something is wrong and they will look for the truth. So evil spirits don't want that. So evil spirits will condition the masses in patterns and cycles so that the masses are attached to those patterns and cycles. And the way you attach someone to a pattern is by associating a reward with the pattern. Because if you associate punishment with a pattern, so if you associate violence with a pattern, and that's it, just violence, it will not be effective. Because people will be on guard. And when people are on guard, they'll resist, and it won't work. You need to first associate a reward with a pattern. And once people are convinced that the reward is worth it, the reward doesn't have to exist. It doesn't have to be anything tangible, anything real. As long as the commoners believe in the reward, and now they consider the reward worthwhile, now everything that hinders the reward, they'll perceive as an annoyance, and they'll be upset with it. And when people are upset, they have negative energy, and negative energy will turn into killing energy when the frustration isn't dealt with. So now you have a population that's clinging onto a reward. That clinging makes them static. That static thinking causes tension and frustration. And now the frustration brings danger. And now the population will experience the danger that comes as a consequence of holding on to the reward. But they won't see the connection between them holding on to the reward and the tension. They don't even realize they're holding on to a reward that's probably non-existent. So, once you got a population so far to cling on to a reward, now you can attach violence to the pattern to force people to comply with it. And because the population is already in line with the pattern, because they cling on to the reward, now the population itself will gladly receive the violence against anyone that doesn't honor the pattern. That's how things as swear words came to existence. There is no such thing as a swear word. There is no such thing as a curse word. Those are just prescriptions given to society for society to hold on to a pattern which is called respect. It's a pattern of being validated by others, often at their expense. But because most people believe in this pattern called respect, now they feel vindicated when violence is done to people who don't hold on this respect pattern. Even though they can see it's wrong to violate someone's life or someone's health because they don't comply with giving validation to someone that craves it, they will still tolerate it because they are invested in the pattern. What good is it for an adult, a grown man or grown woman, to unload their physical frustration on a small kid because the kid doesn't speak the way they want to gratify their mental urges? What good is there in that? Why don't they go to the mayor or to the local judge or to those in authority who violate the community? Why don't they unload their stress on them? But they feel entitled to it with their own children. Or when there are children out there who are not their children, they wish you could unload on them. But because it's not their children, they begin to think, who raised this kid or whatever. So just want someone to be smacked so they are relieved. What good is there in that? There is no good in it. It's a pattern people have been conditioned into, and because people hold on to the alleged, I say alleged because the reward actually never comes, but because people believe in this reward called receiving respect, they enable the pattern that's called respect. And that pattern implies that people need to be restricted, most of the time at their own expense, just to validate the commoner. You see how far that goes? Now people decide how you're allowed to speak, how you're allowed to move, what you're allowed to eat and drink, how you're supposed to dress, how you're supposed to look. They want to control everything about you so that they are at ease. And if you don't comply, they smack you around, and in the worst case, they kill you. And if they can't kill you, they'll make life hard on you through social exclusion till you die. And when you die, or when you end up depressed or suicidal or addicted, they won't admit that they're the ones that did it to you. They will blame you for being rude or not being polite or for this and that. They'll come up with some excuse. That's how it goes in the world. You first have to promote a value. You need to convince people of a certain value. And once they're convinced of that value, they want to preserve that value. They're already stuck mentally then. And now you associate violence with those that don't honor the value. That's how you trap a population in patterns and cycles. All of us were trapped in patterns and cycles. So all of us somewhere believed in the rewards promised by demons. What do you know? Demons are liars. They're scam artists. So whatever they promise is fake. It's not real. So after you've been delivered, you'll feel cheated. You'll feel scammed. And rightfully so, because you were scammed. It goes like this. Let's say someone tells you, if you come to my house tonight and drop off all your cash, something very good is going to happen next week. And you think, whoa, something good is going to happen? You get excited. You get a dopamine rush through your brains. And through your bloodstream, you have those excitement hormones also. So you go there, you drop your money. And throughout the week, let's say on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you expect the great thing to happen. But then Thursday comes and Friday, July is, hold on a minute, it's weekend already. Where's the good thing? And then you hear that you did something wrong and you go again. You go to that building, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday, dropping your cash, means you're spending cash with expectation that good's going to happen to you. So you get this dopamine rush again. After this happened a few times, you become addicted to that dopamine rush. So automatically you go to that place to get this rush because now you become dependent on that mental rush. And that mental rush becomes what you're dependent on. Throughout the week, you feel miserable. You should, because that mental rush, it's an addiction. And that addiction depletes your strength. So when you go throughout the week with your strength depleted, you want to be boosted again. So then you go again to that place to be charged. So it's the addiction that drains you and relieves you at the same time. So you're stuck in a cycle. That's how pagan Christianity works. But that's how the world works in general. So after a while, you won't realize that you're being scammed. Because you're stuck, you're addicted. The moment the pattern is broken, and you begin to see, hold on a minute, there's no reward, there's no long-term benefit in this, I've been lied to. Now, you're going to feel cheated. Some begin to blame themselves, they couldn't see it, and should never blame yourself because it wasn't you. You were lied to by this world. Don't blame yourself for it. Accept it happened, and when you accept it happens, you can process it, and by processing it, you are delivered. You need to process things. Okay? You need to. That's how you heal. That's how you walk by faith. Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.